Hello Exile! That's right, we are back for yet another round of Chaos Trials. I've taken the time to run 50 Inscribed Ultimatums to see if running these trials are worth your valuable time. Except this time, we included the Trial Master. If you haven't watched my previous Chaos Trial video, I'd recommend you go take a look at it to see just how much currency we got without killing him. Without further ado, let us begin. If you've watched my previous video, then I'm sure we all know what to expect in the Chaos Trials at this point. So at the cost of my sanity, I decided to invest around another 16 hours to do them all over again. However, with these runs, there is a catch. Unlike the slightly longer Sekima trial where you can waltz in and kill Zarok without any fragments, the Trials of Chaos require 3 fragments to unlock. These can be earned by killing the last mini-boss inside the trial. So we have 2 ways of going about this. On one hand, we can manually farm them like I did before, relying on RNG to get a set of all 3 every 3 trial runs. Or we can buy them ahead of time. Farming them manually will save you a huge amount of currency, but of course will take much more time. At the time I recorded this video, Cowardly Fates which come from the Chimera will cost you around 58 exalts each. Victorious Fate from the Plague Bird will set you back around 43 exalts, and Deadly Fates, which come from everyone's favorite tornado bird thing, will cost you around 140 exalts. All of these combined total around 241 exalts per complete set. These prices have fluctuated a lot recently, so it may be more or less for you. That would mean buying enough sets for a full 50 runs would cost us 12,050 exalts or 37.6 divines. So if you have the currency, it would be significantly faster to buy them. Otherwise, strap in and get farming. So why on earth would we descend further into madness to run this specific set of trials? No, it's not just the soul cores this time. Oh no, we are hunting for the Adorned. This elusive jewel sells for 85 divines unidentified, and naturally it has a stupidly low drop chance. While we are on the trail of this shiny jewel, the Trial Master will also drop the Mahuzotl shield. With good rolls and with good luck, a 3-socket corrupt, they can net us anywhere between 10 to 18 divines. And then forming the consistent bulk of our profits will of course be our trusty soul cores. Before we dive into all the loot, here is another set of tips that I found while doing these runs to make them a bit more bearable. Number 1. Use Blink. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner, but Blink supported with Second Wind and Ingenuity will make these runs so much quicker. It speeds up the soul core rooms significantly, allowing you to teleport up and down a number of areas and just generally move around quicker. In some cases, I managed to shave around 2 minutes off of my 15-minute average, although this was room dependent. Number 2, this one was a suggestion from a comment which I consider genuinely invaluable advice. So I thought it would be good to share it with you all. You can move rapidly in and out of the circles in the blood ritual rooms to force the mobs to spawn faster, and thereby clear it much quicker than just sitting in the center and waiting. Absolutely game changing, and a big thank you for that tip. Alrighty, it's time for the fun stuff. Let's see just how much currency we generated this time round, but first let's talk about what I had to spend to do these. For these runs I made use of the fragments that I farmed in the previous 50 runs, but that was not nearly enough to sustain the full 50 Trial Master fights. So I had to buy a few to finish the full 50. These were bought at varying prices throughout the runs. I had to buy a total of 24 Cowardly Fates, adding up to 1,380 exalts. 22 Victorious Fates set me back 776 exalts, and fortunately I needed far less Deadly Fates in the end, so I only had to buy 8 of these for a total of 1,130 exalts. So my total cost of fragment purchases added up to 3,286 exalts, or around 10 divines in total. With my initial investment out the way, let's move on to our profits, starting with none other than the soul cores themselves. The nice thing is, with the sudden surge in the economy, the general prices of soul cores increased by quite a bit since my last video, so we got a bit more baseline profit from these. Let's start off with the soul core of Topotante. I got 22 of these, which sold for 23 exalts each, giving us 506 exalts profit. Next is the soul core of Takati. 26 of them were going for between 22 to 24 exalts each at the time, netting us 594 exalts. Now for Opilotti, with 23 of them going for about 22 exalts each gave us 494 exalts. Jaquani, my boy. I had 14 of these at the time, which at 20 exalts each gave us 300 exalts in profit. Next up is Zolotl. Compared to the first run where we got 14 of them, this time we only dropped 4. At 94 exalts each, selling them all gave us 376 exalts profit. 24 soul cores of Sitaqualotl sold for 33 exalts each, netting us 792 exalts. Puhuarte. To be honest, I forgot these existed as I only dropped 3 of them in 100 runs. Talk about RNG. Selling them for 21 exalts each gave us a teensy profit of 64 exalts total. One Zomoto gave us 21 exalts, nothing to write home about there really. 4 soul cores of Shopek sold for 20 exalts each for a profit of 80 exalts. 5 soul cores of Quipalotl, I'll never get tired of saying that name, gave us 115 exalts profit. 14 Takabas at 22 exalts each gave us 308 exalts in profit, not bad. Atmohua. I had 3 of these for 23 exalts each, which netted us 69 exalts in profit. It's a perfect number as far as I'm concerned, if you know what I mean. Cholotl netted us 88 exalts and a tiny profit of 42 exalts from Xantippe yet again. Azkapa, my beloved. The last time we did these runs, we dropped 1 which sold for 696 exalts, which wasn't too bad. Well, in the short time since we did those runs, these puppies nearly doubled in price, and this one gave us a mahusive 1,233 exalts profit. The final tally from just the soul cores alone totaled 5,082 exalts. Moving on to the random currency drops we got from the trials. When you kill the Trial Master, he has a chance to drop a corrupted Inscribed Ultimatum, along with his other unique drops. These allow you to sacrifice various types and amounts of currency to receive double in return, in exchange for making the trial harder. During my runs, I made sure to use the corrupted ultimatums that made sense for things like Exalted Orbs, Alchemy, and so on. The ones that doubled things like Vol Orbs, etc. I did not use because they just aren't worth exchanging in the current state of the economy. We got a total of 106 Chaos Orbs from these runs, some of which came from corrupt ultimatums. I sold these on the exchange for 7.5 exalts each at the time of recording for a total of 795 exalts profit. I also dropped a total of 94 raw exalts while doing the trials, some of which came from the corrupt ultimatums as well. 1 Lonely Orb of Annulment sold for 15 exalts, not much, but it's profit nonetheless. While I was doing my runs, I picked up every unique drop along the way. Pretty much all of it was trash unique, so I salvaged them for chance shards. In total, we were left with 5 Orbs of Chance, which sold for an abysmal 2.6 exalts each for a total of 13 exalts profit. Oh, and let's not forget the 2 Raw Divines which made an appearance again. Lastly, I had 1 Deadly Fate remaining as a final parting token from Tornado Bird thing. I sold it at the exchange for 135 exalts. Adding these up, the total profit from soul cores and random currency came to 6,127 exalts in profit, or roughly 19 divines based on the exchange at the time. Adding in the 2 raw divines would push that up to 21 divines in total. This brings us to the boss loot that was dropped from the Trial Master. Out of the 50 runs, we dropped 11 shields, 18 belts, 3 gloves, and 17 masks from the Trial Master. The only thing that we really care about here are the shields. They can sell for between 2 to 3 divines unidentified, but because I'm a true PoE player at heart, I decided to vol these bad boys to see if we can play our favorite slot machine for a good roll. Well, the crap rolls at least. We are aiming for a 3-socket corrupt with as high a roll as possible, and for that I invested in some Omens of Corruption, which cost me 8 divines in total. There were 2 that rolled fairly well and could sell for about 18 divines for both. So out of the 11 shields that we got, I will vol 9 of them to see what we get. Let me just roll a few of these with some divs, and okay, they actually rolled pretty well, but because I'm feeling saucy, we are going to still vol them. Okay, so on the first few attempts, we got some solid results. 4 of them rolled 3 sockets. This puppy will sell for about 20 divines. This specimen will sell for about 10 divines. This one also will be about 10 div, And this one will also be about 10 div. Let's do the other 2 that we kept aside as well. Not as good as the first run, but we did get some that will sell. One for about 15 divines, this one for about 3 divines on the low end. So in total, once these shields all sell, we are looking at around 58 divines. Of course, you could take the safe route and sell them as is. That's completely okay. If you want to try your hand at some luck, it's worth trying to see what you can get. We got a metric ton of masks, belts, and a few gloves from the TRIALMASTER. These aren't too crazy and pale in comparison to selling the shields, so they most likely will be vended or just sit there until I'm bored and want to corrupt them for shits and giggles. Remember that we were hunting for the Adorned Jewel? Well, my good Exile, we did it. In 50 runs, we dropped 1, and my life is now complete. Now, I was very tempted to ID it in hopes of getting a high roll, but I decided to sell it as is for 84 divines, which sold pretty quickly. Phew, that was a lot of numbers. But now it's time to add all of this up to see just how much we got, minus our expenses, of course. The final tally of soul cores, currency, and the Adorned Jewel came to a total of 105 divines. If we take away the cost of the Omens of Corruption and the fragments needed, which cost 18 divines, that would leave us with a total profit of 87 divines for our time. Damn worth it, I'd say. Assuming all the shields I rolled sell for even a conservative 50 divines, that would bring our total profit from these grueling runs to a grand total of 137 divines. Because I only added Blink to my build around about halfway through, my average runtime was still around 15 minutes this time round, which would make our total profit per hour 8.5 divines. Once again, the market has been fluctuating a lot lately, so your number may differ from what you see here as it was based on the market at the time. As always, I hope it is at least a bigger number for you. And that's it for the Chaos Trials. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, I'd encourage you to drop a like and consider subscribing. I can confidently say that I am done with running Chaos Trials for the time being, so the next videos will be something a little different. If you have something that you would like to see, pop it in the comments below. Until next time, stay sane, Exile.